Ladies and gentlemen, Erica Shantel Carter.
Well, good evening, everybody. And does anyone here remember Watts, Mozambique, and the hot nights for the dancers, Thursday through Saturday? Well, I used to do Too Sweet's hair. Does anyone know or remember Too Sweet? In the late 80s, early 90s, he was the most popular dancer at Club Watts, and his name was Lawrence Thompson. And I actually had him as a client for several years. I did his hair, and he was one of my best friends. And this is April 1993, and it's his birthday. And I have been going to Club Watts, Mozambique since 1986. And a group of my friends, we're gonna go and celebrate his birthday. And if you remember Club Watts, they celebrated their favorite dancers' birthdays with just like making capes and crowns, long duster coats made out of taped dollar bills. Y'all remember that? They would make at least $2,000, $3,000, what a booty, or cachet that night. So, my friends and I were getting ready to go to the club. And we meet at my house, Jamila, Tanya, Gina, myself, Myra, and do what females do, go look in the mirror, get our last looks, heels on, tight skirts, dresses, looking good. And Watts was the type of environment that when you went there, Finkel and Wyoming would just be full of cars, full of young men, right? Because they'd be waiting for us afterwards because we would be hot and bothered, right? Those well-toned bodies all oiled up in those fantastic outfits that they would come out of, right? Right. Egyptian Lover, Hot Rod, Joystick, Pit Viper, to name a few. Oh my God. Well, listen, I didn't smoke nor drink, so my friends considered me the square, but I was the most fun, as you can see. So, the thing about it, male dancing really wasn't my thing. I would go maybe 4 or 5 times a year, tip a little bit. So we get to the club, it's frenetic, it's a frenzy because it's his birthday. We go in, we seat, and Lawrence comes over to me and he says, well, Erica, I'm gonna go on the stage in about 30 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm glad you're here. I laid his hair that night, and Lawrence was about 6'3", and he was toned and had a body like Adonis. Now, y'all remember Too Sweet? Okay, well, listen. He had that black Puerto Rican look which made him exotically beautiful, and women were drawn to him. But the thing was, he was a really nice guy. So, when women saw him getting his hair done, they really liked him. Well, we were in a club, and shortly after, he had went on, and he got about $6 from me, because I really just don't, that's not my thing. The bodies are oiled, they're slippery. They're just not my thing, really. I get a tap on my shoulder. I did date a male dancer, but he happened to be a male dancer, not because he was a male dancer. Okay. So anyway, you know what I mean. They gyrating and getting their money. No. But anyway, we're sitting at the table, there's several of us, and I get a tap on the shoulder. And the gentleman says, Miss, the owner would like for you to leave the club. And I say, excuse me? And for what reason? He said, well, I don't know, but you have to leave. And my friends were like, and for what reason? I said, well, listen, I've been coming here for several years, off and on. I'm not gonna go anywhere. Call the police. If I've done anything, call the police. So he left. Another guy comes back, bigger, broader, not so friendly, taps me on the shoulder. You have to go. I said, well, I'm not going to go, and don't touch me again, because one of my friends here is an officer of the law, actually off duty, and I know the refrains of the law, I really do. So I said, is there an issue? He said, I don't know, but the owner, Mr. Watts, would like for you to leave. I said, I want to talk to Mr. Watts, where is he? Mr. Watts was over by the bar where there was podiums, and he was trying to hide and shrink himself. So we all got up and filed over, and I told my girlfriends, don't get ghetto now, please don't embarrass me. You're working class, educated, beautiful black women, please don't get ghetto up in here. But But anyway, went over there to talk to Mr. Watts, and I asked him, I said, is there an issue, Mr. Watts? He said, well, several other dancers have said that they're very uncomfortable with you being here. And I said, and for what reason? I do Too Sweet's hair. I know several other dancers. He said, well, because you're one of them sex changes. And Am I kind of cute? My hair is... I'll be 50 years old next month, okay? First of all, he said it loudly, and I was put on display, and I was embarrassed. I was hurt. And I said, Mr. Watts, I happen to be a woman, and sex change, transgenders, transsexual does not apply to me. I said, I'm a woman, by all means. Showed him my ID and everything. My girlfriend's like, rah, 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 rah. You know, they were more upset than I was. I was really hurt. He said, well, it doesn't matter. I said, well, Mr. Watts, you know I can sue you. This is discrimination. It didn't matter to him. And it really hurt me because I knew that he was a gay man. It really hurt me that my friend, the legendary LaToya Pearson, commentator, does voiceovers, was a good friend and mentor of mine who had hosted events of his. And I pointed that out. But he told me, everybody knew her business, and you fooling them. Anybody who knows me knows that I am very transparent about who I am and my disposition as a woman. So I told him I was disappointed and I will seek legal counsel. So we left. So my friends were very upset. We went back to my place because I didn't live far, and they talked to me all throughout the week. Sue him, sue him, sue him. Lawsuit crazy. I did seek legal counsel, but my friends were calling me and making sure that I was okay. I really was hurt. I was humiliated. And the thing about it is, I've been going to Club Watts since 1986, before I had my surgery. And my marker was an M. At the time, you had to be 21 to have your surgery. And I was 21 when I had my surgery in 1988, and I got everything appropriated on all of my legal documents, so there would be an F. So what happened was, I sought out legal counsel, talked to them, and Charters, O'Donnell and Heck is 16 in Big Beaver, was 75 in Big Beaver. They assigned me to Eric Goldstein. And they had an ironclad case. 3.5 million, 2.8, we could get that easily. Miss Carter, you can sue him, this and that and the other, blah, 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 blah. Suing was not a way to vindicate this. I want to give this a chance. Maybe this was a fluke. Maybe he would come to his senses. So I gave it a thought. I'm from Southwest Detroit. I'm a native Detroiter. I was raised to support Black-owned businesses. And as a woman of color, a woman of many colors, I support everyone. But as a woman of color, I just not want to decimate this man's business. It wasn't in my heart. But I had to make a stand. I had to make a point. Okay? I wasn't letting all this go to waste. Now, you're not about to put me on display like that. That don't happen to me, but it did happen to me. And it was a pivotal point in my life, because after conveniently living in stealth, I found out I need to be out about who I am. So, because there are children like me who need to see someone like me who's educated, upstanding, positive person. You know, I had a modeling career for 17 years and was with women that were my height or taller, so it was easy to blend in. I was slimmer then, but you know, we'll talk about that. But anyway, time and gravity. But anyway, I thought about it. So I told my friends, let's go back in a week from now. You all go in, I'll hold our money, and I'll pay it, as the last person. And if he does it again, then I'll sue him. Maybe he'll apologize. Too Sweet had talked to him. Lawrence, maybe he'll apologize. And he was upset. Went back to the club the next week. Same time, same place, Saturday night. And the same thing happens. Within 5 minutes, and this time, Mr. Watts was very irate. And he was very mean and derogatory. And I just stood my ground in a classy way. I said, Dr. Martin Luther King fought for civil rights, for your black and mine. I said, and your and mine, okay? It didn't make a difference to him. So I said, I'm going to take you to court. Take me to court then. Well, the law was in my favor. the odds were forever in my favor. It was Hunger Games. It was really quick. The process was really quick, you all. However, what I learned is that the truth is a very straight and narrow line, especially with the law, especially with going to court. You do not deviate. You do not go awry. You stick to the truth. And I had the truth on my side. So depositions came. I myself gave a deposition, and 33 dancers gave depositions. And out of 33 dancers, 7 of them knew my disposition as a woman, had no issues with it, and the rest didn't know my disposition as a woman and said that they thought I was beautiful, that I was classy, because I would dress very classy, and that I wasn't, threatening to them. They had no problem with it, but there was one dancer. His name was Ronnie. He had staged a campaign against me. And that was because I had spurned his advances. He was handsome, coaxed me out of my number, and he called me a few times and wanted to come and visit and have a tryst. It don't even go that way with me. It's not going to even happen like that. Well, depending on how cute you are. But at the time, I was 27, so, okay. So anyway, what happened was we talked on the phone a couple of times. I said, listen, I'm not sure that we're going to go ahead and be physical. And he told me that most women don't turn him down. He was very good looking. I said, well, I am. And he had told me that he really wanted to get with me because he had heard about my disposition and he wanted to give it a twirl and a try. I'm not a science project. You like me because you like me. I woke up like this, but you ain't gonna get this. But so quickly, so he was upset and he used my disposition against me. And he waged a little war, but it didn't work for him. So my lawyer's like, we can sue, we can go for this, we can go for this, we can go for this. Ironclad case, 2.8, 3.5. And I asked him, how long would it take? 1.5 years, 2 years. I said, let me think about it. I set up an appointment with a psychologist and divulged how I felt. And he said, Ms. Carter, you really don't want to sue this man, but you do want justice. And you don't want to take this man's business from him. So what I did was, because people are lawsuit crazy, water cooler lawsuits, hot coffee lawsuits, all type of ridiculousness. My heart would not allow myself to decimate this man's business. So, talked to his lawyer. They wanted to settle out of court. And I settled out of court because had I went to the trial and took 1.5 years, 2 years of my life, I would have to have relived that event, relived that night, and be angry and hurt. I'm a forgiving person. I had forgiven him already. And I told the lawyers, I'm going to forgive him, I've forgiven him. Let's take the out-of-court settlement. And they were getting 33 1/3% on contingency. So they wanted that 2.8, 3.5 million, right? But I would have been taking this man's business, this black man's business, this black gay man's business away from him. And all hell would have broke loose in the media. I didn't want to do that. He apologized to me. I accepted. And I got a settlement. But I had my own pride within myself not to decimate this man's business. But I was justified. I was vindicated, okay? And it also was a turning point in my life to use my stance as a woman to represent what being a woman is and sometimes a lady. And let me end this with this. I didn't choose to be. I happened to be a woman. I didn't choose this life. It chose me. And I am not the child of a lesser God. Thank you.
Erica Shantel Carter.